To understand this, you have to go back to what young brother here referred to as the house Negro and the field Negro. Back during slavery, there was two kinds of slaves. There was the house Negro and the field Negro. The house Negro, they lived in the house with master. They dressed pretty good. They ate good because they ate his food. What he left. They lived in the attic or the basement, but still they lived near their master. And they loved their master more than the master loved himself. They would give their life to save the master's house quicker than the master would. The house Negro, if the master said, we got a good house here, the house Negro said, yeah, we got a good house here. Whenever the master said we, he said we. That's how you can tell a house Negro. If the master's house caught on fire, the house Negro would fight harder to put the blaze out than the master would. If the master got sick, the house Negro would say, what's the matter, boss? We sick. He identified himself with his master more than his master identified with himself. And if you came to the house Negro and said, let's run away, let's escape, let's separate, that house Negro would look at you and say, man, you crazy. What you mean separate? Where is there a better house than this? Where can I wear better clothes than this? Where can I eat better food than this? That was that house Negro. In those days, he was called a house nigger. And that's what we call him today, because we still got some house niggers running around here. This modern house Negro loves his master. He wants to live near him. He'll pay 3 times as much as the house is worth just to live near his master. And then brag about, I'm the only Negro out here. I'm the only one on my job. I'm the only one in this school. You nothing but a house Negro. And if someone comes to you right now and says, let's separate, you say the same thing that the house Negro said on the plantation. What you mean separate? From America? This good white man? Where you gonna get a job when you get here? I mean, this is what you say. I ain't left nothing in Africa. That's what you say. Why you left your mind in Africa? On that same plantation, there was the field Negro. The field Negro, those were the masses. There was always more Negroes in the field than there was Negroes in the house. The Negro in the field caught hell. He ate leftovers. In the house, he ate high up on the hog. The Negro in the field didn't get nothing but what was left of the insides of the hog. They call them chitlins nowadays. In those days, they call them what they were, guts. That's what you were, a gut eater. And some of you are still gut eaters. The field Negro was beaten from morning till night. He lived in a shack, in a hut. He wore cast-off clothes. And he hated his master. I say he hated his master. He was intelligent. That house Negro loved his master. But that field Negro, remember, they were in the majority. And they hated his master. When the house caught on fire, he didn't try and put it out. That field Negro prayed for a wind, for a breeze. When the master got sick, the field Negro prayed that he died. If someone come to the field Negro and said, let's separate, let's run, he didn't say, where are we going? He said, any place is better than here.
Bismillah, wassalatu wassalamu rasulullah wa ba'd. In the name of Allah, and the peace and blessings of Allah be upon his last and final messenger. Family, friends, foes, haters, and hateettes, welcome back to the Feachaz. I greet you all in peace and love and no hatred in my heart. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. So before we begin, please like, please subscribe, and please share. As you know, we got a lot of haters up in here. So family, this story right here is crazy. This is absolutely, but not it's crazy, but not really surprising. It's crazy, but not really surprising. Why is that? We know very well that the people who cannot be named have never been friends of the black community. We've been reading to you from time to time from the book put out by the Nation of Islam many years ago, which got banned, which is called The Secret Relationship Between Blacks and Jews. And they're using their own scholars to basically define the relationship that Jewish people had within slavery. And their very Machiavellian practices, absolutely brutal, violent practices that they did, including, estimating the lifespan of the slaves until they can have them replaced. Just absolutely brutal. But this story here, because of how this apartheid system has been put out on full display for the whole world to see within Palestine. Right now, the world is actually watching what has been practiced for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years. But they get to see it now. They get to see the actual violence and the brutality and the lack of humanity practiced by the people who cannot be named because, YouTube will strike our channel. Okay. Okay. Right now, as we speak, there are political elements that are trying to make anti-Zionism synonymous with anti-Semitism from a group of people who were not even Semites to begin with. You're talking about Europeans. Europeans who are a large group, as you could say, like if you put it in modern terms, they are identity thieves. They have stolen the identity of true Semitic people, which of course they know very well. They know very well because they know that the true Semitic people are, in fact, the darkest skinned people of the earth, Africans and whatnot, and Arabs, of course. They know this, they understand this. But they have assumed this identity, and they have spread it throughout Europe. And ironically enough, when the book written, what is called The 13 Tribe, I can't remember the author, who was trying to show Europeans during the height of this anti-Semitism happening in Europe, around the World War II times, right? He was trying to show Europeans that, us Jewish people, we are in fact Europeans. He wasn't trying to be anti-Semitic. This thing got rejected by those very same people for being an anti-Semitic book, if you can believe that. But now, because these folks, they understand how power works very well, and they know the rules of engagement when it comes to power, and they're willing to do and say anything in order to achieve their goals. And there is nothing that is off the table, as we have seen, including genocide. Including genocide. That's not off the table. So what is going on now with, AIPAC? For those of you who don't know, AIPAC is the Jewish lobby in the U.S., right? It's one of them anyways. Probably the largest one as far as I know. And they are, let me just get into this article. Let me just, like, subscribe, share, hit me on Patreon. Let me just get into this, y'all. Right, press number 1 if y'all can hear me. 1 second, y'all. Let me just push this in. Let me get this going. So over here, we have this article. The price of defending apartheid. AIPAC set to spend $100 million 100 million against the squad. That is the thumbnail, the very same thumbnail that I used today. Right? And let's get into some of these articles. Let's go over here. 1 second. So this one right here. This one right here from the Griot. Okay. So AIPAC is set to unseat Congressional Black Caucus members over Israel. This was written about a week ago, November 21st. This is shameful, said Amisha Cross, Democratic strategist, tells the Griot. The American Israel Public Affairs Committee, AIPAC, okay, all right, launched a multi-million dollar campaign against some members of the Congressional Black Caucus over their views on the Israel-Hamas conflict. But let me tell y'all something, family. Their reach doesn't just stop at the Congressional Black Caucus. These folks are actually reaching out to influencers. They're paying influencers. We've got all kinds of stories from social media influencers that are being offered money to be pro-Israel. And we know already that, as we said many times, the Israel issue is a non-partisan issue. Doesn't make a difference if you're a Democrat or Republican. You're going to be pro-Israel because of these lobbies. These lobbies are very powerful. They have a lot of pull and weight behind them. And they essentially buy off your opinions. They pay to make their opinions your opinions. But over here, in any other country, this would be considered treasonous or act of war, but not, of course, not in the States, of course not, because you're talking about black folk. When you're talking about black folk, there's nothing off the table when it comes to black folk. So, anyway, let's keep going. Amisha Cross, she says, I say that because there's been a long-standing history of support between the black community and the Jewish community. Well, you don't say. Which largely came from the uproots of the civil rights movement, said Cross. Okay? Yeah, these are some of your old Democratic talking points. You know, we in the Jewish community always work together and blah blah blah. And the reality is that Jewish folks have always profited off of the labor and the intellectual prowess of black folk. So much so that they even weaponize the black entertainment against the black community, in order to elicit certain behaviors from the black community to profit off of the prison industrial complex, to profit off of pharmaceuticals and things of this nature. So thank you, Jewish community, for bringing gangster rap to us. You know what I mean? And now look at hip hop today. Anyways, let's keep going. She continued. AIPAC is a very large organization, very well-funded organization, one that also has also experienced a lot of black support from not only very CBC members, but also state local government leaders who happen to be black. Again, these are power moves. These are power moves. And the quicker the black folk understand that we have no friends, including within, I'm sorry to say, the Congressional Black Caucus again, which is just a mouthpiece for liberals. These old tired civil rights Negroes. Black folk have no friends in politics at all, period. And these guys have their only purpose within politics is to make sure they push liberal talking points. Well, now here come the AIPAC trying to push them out. Okay, let's keep reading, y'all. Last week, the pro-Israel lobby group announced that it would spend upwards to $100 million to unseat all 8 members of the so-called squad. You can't make this stuff up. I'm going to repeat. Last week, the pro-Israel lobbying group announced that it would spend upwards to $100 million. $100 million, okay? You know what you can do with $100 million? to unseat all 8 members of the so-called squad in the 2024 midterm elections.
Emotional damage.
You can't make this stuff up. You cannot make this stuff up. The squad includes Representatives Jamal Bowman, Democrat from New York, Ilhan Omar, Minnesota, Ayanna Presley, Massachusetts, Summer Lee, Pennsylvania, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez in New York, and Rashida Tlaib in Michigan, all Democrats. Okay? The spokesperson for Presley told the Rio, AIPAC has become a right-wing group that spends, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. You can't make this stuff up, okay? AIPAC has become a right-wing group that spends millions in Republican donor money to silence anyone that advocates for dignity, humanity, and the rights of Palestinians, Israelis, and all people.
Oh my God!
Well. Well, you don't say. You don't say. Mind you, AIPAC, again, they are a pro-Zionist, pro-Israel lobby. They are pushing their agenda for Israel. And they have a lot of money behind it. So the problem is that in the Democratic Party, you have some folks who will not budge when it comes to human rights. Republicans in general, they just kind of go where the money goes, right? Wherever the money goes, that's the big money is. They will support big money wherever it is, right? But again, we're living in a different time, and this left-right paradigm is coming to a close. And you're going to see, as I mentioned many times before, far-right governments everywhere. And it's already started to happen. And including in the States and including in Canada. You're going to see that. So anyways, let's keep going. It's unsurprising that they would target progressive women of color with a strong support in their districts whose advocacy for a ceasefire is overwhelmingly supported by the American public, said the Presley spokesperson. Okay. Cross said AIPAC's campaign sets the squad. I guess the squad is heart-wrenching because the fact it speaks to something deeper. Well, you don't say. You don't say.
Hold up. Wait a minute. Say right.
Let's look at this article here. Okay. Pro-Israel lobby offers $20 million to another Senate candidate to run against Tlaib. Now, Rashida Tlaib, right? She is making waves within the political sphere because she's getting very emotional for what's going on in Palestine because she's Palestinian, right? These are her people, her family members, and whatnot, being slaughtered in Palestine. Okay. So it's essentially pulling out the humanity of people who never even knew they had humanity. And this is bad news for the Zionists. Okay. Second candidate from the U.S. Senate from Michigan has revealed that the American Israel Public Affairs Committee, AIPAC, has approached him with a deal to drop out of his race against Representative Rashida Tlaib, Democratic candidate Nasser Bidyoun posted a video on social media on Monday revealing that AIPAC offered him $20 million to primary Tlaib, a vocal pro-Palestinian advocate and the only Palestinian American in Congress. Mind you, Rashida Tlaib was censored in Congress for just being Palestinian, pretty much. Go look that up. She was censored in Congress. Y'all hearing me? Anyways, Virginia Harsher criticized AIPAC, a Zionist dark money organization, and said that the offer is demonstrative of a vast influence a wealthy lobbyists have over U.S. colleagues. Well, you don't say. Well, you do not say. We know very well that the lobbyists in the States are the ones who are essentially the puppet masters behind the scenes. We know that very well. Okay? And we also know that politicians, they don't work for the people, they work for big money, traditional politicians. But now there's a new group of politicians coming up, which are extreme. And these are your new type of, I don't know how to describe them. You could call them like New World Order types. You know, these people are trying to usher in like a new existence. And again, nothing is off the table for these folks. So they are boiling the frog very, very slowly. Because by the time, all this stuff, all this crap hits the fan, it's going to be too late for y'all. It's going to be much too late. Right? Now, this video here, we're going to get into some other video here. One second here. Because we're going to show y'all, this one went viral as well. We're going to show y'all exactly what these folks think about black people, right? This is from the African Diaspora channel with Miss Vicky Diller. So let's check this out. One second.
Clip of an Israeli consul official making what appears to be some very disturbing, dangerous, and damaging statements about Black American youth in particular. I found this clip very important to discuss at this time because there's so much happening in our world, and we are supposed to have a very strong and democratic alliance with Israel. So it's disturbing to hear these comments. Watch this.
The problem of Israel is with the young generation of the Black community. Black Lives Matter starts there.
So just to give a little bit of context to what you're hearing, you're listening to Judith Varney Shore, an Israeli consul general in Atlanta. And she says, quote, "The major problem with Israel is the young generation of the Black community." I'm going to say that again. How are our friends and allies in Israel saying their consul, this is a government official, why would she say, quote, "The major problem with Israel is with the young generation of the Black community"?
Well, we know why. We know why, anyways. Because Black folks will be the first ones to voice their disdain against any type of oppression. We'll be right there in the front lines. So these folks are using their money and their political influence and even military influence to make sure that the world falls in line. All right, I personally think that them spending their money to unseat these Black congressional Congress members or the squad or whatnot, that strategy will be fruitless. What I think will end up happening, if I had to guess, is that they will do what they've always done in terms of, gerrymandering and make all these racist things that they always do when it comes to election time to make sure that they unseat these Black congressmen, right? So, anyways, family, that's all I got for you tonight. Like, subscribe, share, hit me up on Patreon. Let me know what y'all think in the comments.